Yeah, thank you very much, as ever, James, and it was great to hear from you, Adrian, Simon, Scott, and Praveen. Great insights there. Yeah, as James said, I'm going to move it straight on to the next session, which is actually a case study presentation. And up next, we're going to be hearing from Benoit Brieussel, Head of Presales, Viaccess-Orca, on 7 clients' use cases on how they're satisfying current and future requirements of TV operators, as well as delivering premium viewing experiences to increasingly demanding consumers.
Hi, everyone. Very happy to be with you. Thank you very much for attending this session around the video player. The video player sometimes is perceived as a commodity, and the goal of this presentation will indeed to be to explain, on the contrary, that the video player is an essential piece of software, a critical component of a TV solution. So for that, we will go through 3 different items. So first, I will recap what is a video player. Then I will explain what is a unified player and why it is important to have a unified player across devices. And then we'll go through the core of this presentation around the 7 most important requirements video player should address to reach at the end a very good TV solution. I believe just before starting on the first bullet that it's important to understand that TV operators invest a lot, massively in high quality content, in backend, and if next to that, in the front-end side, the TV operators deploy a poor front-end solution, in the end, this may result in customer churn rate and lower customer acquisition compared to the expectations. So it's very important to understand that video player is directly linked to the user experience running on the devices that end user watch. So first of all, what is a video player? Briefly, in summary, this is this product that manages the video playback. This is what the end user watch during hours every day, like 3 or 4 hours during every day. Video and audio rendering. This is the video surface that is usually embedded into applications, TV applications, that at the end is what the customer of TV operators experience and millions of people watch every day in the world. So this piece of software runs on each device and is connected to the end-to-end and total solution. Now, regarding if you look a little bit of the history of the video player, what was the key value proposition? So if we look at when smartphones was created in the very early days of iPhone and Android, the main reason for having a video player deployed in the market was to solve Android fragmentation. At that time, Android was very moving a lot with different versions and different devices and different support. But over the time, Google improved this the standardization and the different upgrade of the Android versions. And then on top of that, around 2015, we saw that the TV operators wanted to address more and more devices. And the video player was there to address this platform fragmentation. So more and more devices to reach, to have the video service running on more and more devices to reach more and more subscribers. And what we observe recently and more, and we think that this will be even more in the future, is that the video player will be part of more complex and end-to-end use cases for TV solutions. So this is what I will present as the 7 most important needs that involve the video player through the TV solutions. So first of all, the unified player concept. This is very important. This is already there from the 10 past years, and this will stay there for the future. There is such a high diversity of devices to address. Such diversity also, number of operating system and versions of operating system to address across all the devices. So it's important to have this continuously in mind in the strategy to address all the devices. And the way to do it properly with a good video player is to provide the same user experience across devices. When you are at home, you would like to experience the same video service experience, whatever you're using your mobile or your tablet, or you are in the living room. And to do that, then it means that the video player should have the same code running on all the devices, meaning that the feature, the capabilities are the same, and also the behavior of each feature are the same across all devices. So this is an important aspect to bear in mind, and all the use cases I'm going to present should be addressing all devices through a unified player like I'm just presented in this slide. So let's go to the first key requirement that a video player should address. So I would call it the VOD player. So the VOD player, you know, is to address the on-demand content. You see very popular names like Netflix or YouTube. These companies have their own expertise and own high investment expertise around the front end and the video player. And then to address a very good TV solution with a good user experience for VOD cases, you need to provide some capabilities like a responsive video scrubbing. You can see in YouTube this kind of functionality. Like if you go to Facebook, you go to the wall, you will see in your wall an instant startup of the video. That's also a very good feature of better user experience. And by the way, a good user experience is not one feature. A good user experience is the sum of many, many features aggregated all together to provide at the end a very good user experience. So another example is what in Netflix, for example, if you want to skip the intro or the credit parts, you can do it instantly. Again, here, it's the video player that is acting and not limiting what is provided by the backend as a functionality. The last example I've shown here is the language. If you need to change the language or the audio or the subtitle, it has to be very seamlessly with no buffering in between. The second use case that I would like to present is the convergent player. So we see that more and more networks are converging all together, especially telecom operators have managed network, address OTT, which is the increasing audience, and advertising. All of this is combining all together to provide a better integrated solution and better performance at the end. So that's very important to address all of these networks in one good integrated playback solution. The second part, which is important to bear in mind, is that the player is directly connected to many technology of the TV solution, many parts of the ecosystem that is deployed in the market. The first one to have in mind, of course, is the applications that directly integrate the video player. So application for set-top box, for connected devices in the multi-screen. Also, there are some metrics, some dashboards to follow in the field, what is running in the field, how is the behavior, what is the viewer's experience. So this is also directly connected to the video player. Video player also are in charge of decryption and security mechanisms. Video player can be connected to service delivery platforms, especially to optimize the load between the servers and the devices. And of course, very important, player are directly in front of the encoder packager, whatever you want to decode to do low latency. So the end-to-end video chain has to be managed very properly with the different partners in the place. The third requirement for a good video player is what I would call lean agile player. So what we observe is that the market is evolving rapidly, and the devices in the market, there are millions of devices that needs to render in a perfect way all the TV services on the screen. So it's important to have an organization that is following this pace and this speed, with continuous integration and delivery, with continuous release made on the market, and with a continuous technical support, ideally provided by the experts of the product, so that at the end, the best of the technology can be offered and understood by the system integrators or by the entire solution providers. One important aspect also is for the player to be able to enable or to contain a solution for monitoring what's happening in the field. It's like an industrial process where if there is an issue, it has to be addressed in real time and with actionable metrics. The fourth use case, probably aware already of, is the secure player. So TV operators deal with premium content. They have to be compliant with security requirements to have the right to deploy and distribute some premium content. And if we go also to live sport, there are even more additional protection to put in place to secure the content themselves and the global solution. So this will help, of course, to have even more people subscribing to the service or viewing on the service that is owned by the TV operators. And also the player will be an important piece to reinforce more global anti-piracy services like watermarking solutions. So for example, a good video player has to manage very well and very good integration, all the DRM requirements with the TV output requirements. Another example is protection on top is to detect if an application has been cloned. This is an easy way to steal credentials by cloning applications. If a hacker tries to tamper, to reverse engineering the application or the player. Also having maybe different level of protection if it's for HD or SD quality. So this is all examples of security protection that can be added on top of the encryption. Encryption being the part that is protecting distribution. And then on top of that, the watermarking and the anti-piracy services can be enabled through a client-side solution. Another important use case that we see growing more and more, and you have seen, I'm sure, in the market, some consolidation and a lot of announcements around live sports. We see that sports is the second type of content attracting many audience, close to or second behind the SVOD and the premium movie contents. So here again, the video player has to provide the appropriate features. One that is important is the latency. You know, fans hate to watch the important scenes after the other or after receiving a tweet. It has to be really with short delay to watch everyone at the same time what's happening during a sports match. It's also scrubbing functionality to watch in the time shift buffer what was the goal, for example, what was the problem that happened in a match, if a problem happened during the match or red card or whatever. So it's important to be able to go in the past to seek for that. It's also important to display statistics. Sports fans love to see more what is related to their favorite team, what is their favorite player. And sometimes the screen size is very small and it has to be overlaid properly on top of the video surface. We see also innovative use cases like choosing the camera angle with a multi-view, multi-angle use cases, or the co-watching. If you cannot go to the stadium, if your family is far, your friends are far from where you are located, you can co-watch all together a same event. And here the player also have a role to play to provide a good user experience. The other use case, the sixth ones I would like to mention, which is also growing part in the market, is around advertising. If we want to increase the revenues by aggregating the digital advertising technology and the TV operator data for reaching a targeted advertising that will generate more revenues at the end for the TV operators, then a client-side ad insertion will increase the inventory potential and then will provide more money at the end to the TV operators. So for example, you can provide clickable banners. You can detect if an advertising is not skipped. You can detect if there is a user event like a pause that will allow to maybe place an ad at this time. So a client-side ad insertion will provide more money at the end for the TV operators and the partners providing the solutions. Also, the living room, the large screen is 80 or 90% of the advertising revenue. So the way to address advertising in case of set-top box, for example, for the managed network, it's only client-side. So you need to, again, to converge IPTV, advertising, and the OTT all together to provide more revenues for the advertising. And of course, for the technical side, you have to be compliant with all the ad servers to serve as many as possible of the ad assets. The last use case I would like to present is the 5G players. This is more for the innovation. TV operators invest massively in these networks with high bandwidths. And what we can think of is to put in place smart caching. So for use case like on the go, if you go to the train, you can download a lot of faster and a lot more in a smart way so that you can predict, for example, where the end user may jump in the video. You have all these immersive experiences with high resolution and ambisonic audio that will take off with the 5G networks. And more will come for sure. We will leverage what can be done with such a nice network bandwidth. So as a conclusion, and this was really the goal of the presentation, for TV operators that want to increase the customer retention, that want to reduce the churn rate, that are focused on the user experience as their important strategy, that want to take like a leader attitude instead of follower behavior, the video player is really an essential piece of software, a critical component of the TV solution. And this is to bring consistently across all devices. Moreover, if TV operators want to provide higher monetization driven by advertising and driven by more robust content protection and anti-piracy use cases, the video player is also an essential part that will help for now and the future to monetize even better all the assets and investments that TV operators will put on globally on the TV solution. So that's the conclusion. If you want to reach a very good quality of experience and reduce the churn rate and monetize, it's very important. I encourage to consider to deploy a very good video player and unified player across the devices for your TV solutions. I hope you enjoyed this session. I think I don't have time to right now take questions, but feel free to contact me offline for any question you may have or any follow-up you would like to give to this session. Thank you again for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the AVIA.